Go ahead. I look pills, booze, and the funny farm. Let me pop a doll real quick. It's M&M's. Let's talk about some more scandals, shall we? Let's talk about Valley of the Dolls.
Valley of the Dolls.
It's about the closest I get to pills, all right? So worth it for that bit. Oh my God, you guys. We don't talk about the absolute gay cult camp classic. That is Valley of the Dolls. Starring Patty Duke, Sharon Tate, Barbara Parkins, and Susan Hayward in what has to be the magnum opus of camp. Now, Valley of the Dolls is based on the book by Jacqueline Susann of the same title, and let's just say the book was as scandalous as the film and as chaotic as the making of the film. Let's get into it, okay? A little brief history on Jacqueline Susann, because I think she's a very, very fascinating character. She was a failed actress who married very, very well. She married a producer who, when he learned she had an ambition to write a book, she had a moderate success with her book, Every Night Josephine, about her wonderful little dog. It was very cute. It made a little bit of money, but she knew she had to buckle down and write about something she truly knew and truly loved. And what she loved from her time in show business was the underbelly, the things nobody talks about, the stuff that Hollywood doesn't want out. Somebody to pull back the curtain and really tell it like it is. And she knew a lot of these people that she was referencing in this book. Now, the book Valley of the Dolls characters, they are small shadow like fragments of actual living people. Judy Garland, Ethel Merman, and Carol Landis. Now, the book got written, it was published, it became an immediate hit. We're talking outselling the Bible kind of hit. Like, it was #1 for weeks. Everybody was talking about it. And not only that, critics hated this book. They truly did. They were scathing to this, saying Jacqueline Susann was a hack, she couldn't write, her stories were contrived, and that she was writing about the most obvious, unflattering, and just downright gross material. And she should be ashamed of herself.
I feel rotten when I've spent 4 hours reading a bad book.
But then you're very uptight.
You think so?
Yeah.
And Jackie Susann took it in stride, and she had a very cavalier attitude about this, where I was just like,
how do you sleep at night? On top of a pile of money.
Like, she didn't give a fuck. Like, she was everything. And she was a messy bitch. And as we all know, gays love us some messy bitches. What happens when something becomes a massive success, especially books? Well, Hollywood comes a-knocking, and they bought the rights to Valley of the Dolls for a very low ticket price. Like, they bought it really early, to where right before the book exploded, they got the rights to the movie and started going into production. Let's just say, making of this movie was a chaotic nightmare. Every girl in Hollywood was seen for this movie, but they had very specific actresses in mind that immediately said, hell the fuck no. The actresses they had in mind were Natalie Wood for Ann Wells. She was not interested in that. She wanted Neely or nothing. Barbara Streisand as Neely O'Hara. This would have been her debut feature. And Barbara Streisand was never one to do a lot of very offensive material, so she was an immediate no and would rather wait to do Funny Girl. And Raquel Welch as Jennifer North. Raquel did not want to do this because she thought it was going to typecast her as a dumb bimbo who only has a body. So, of course, she said no. Which left us with the women we ended up with. Barbara Parkins as Ann Wells, Patty Duke as Neely O'Hara, and Sharon Tate as Jennifer North. And you may be wondering, well, who was going to play the Helen Lawson part? The Ethel Merman part? The legendary Broadway star who's secretly a gigantic bitch? Well, they didn't get Ethel, but there was a few people that really, really were gunning for this. One of them was Bette Davis. Bette Davis really wanted this part. She campaigned for it. Even Jacqueline Susann campaigned for her. But they didn't think she had the chops, singing-wise, to do this. Which is crazy, because they ended up dubbing all the actresses in this anyway. But that's beside the point. They did not think Bette Davis had the chops for it, so she was a no. The other one that did get cast, which is also very stunty and crazy, would be the legendary Judy Garland. Now, you'd be wondering yourself, Judy Garland? The woman whose whole market value was fragility? Judy Garland's gonna play a bitchy Broadway legend? I don't buy it. Well, neither the studio, because they got the publicity they needed out of it, and then she showed up for work late a couple times and immediately canned her ass and fired her. It was a very, very embarrassing debacle, and Judy Garland really felt slighted by it, and rightfully so. Like, they really fucked her over and played a lot of games with her to where she eventually would crumble under the pressure and not be able to do the job. Who should they get to replace her but Susan Hayward? Now, Susan Hayward did something very, very classy. She was retired. She did not want to do any more working. She was happy just, fishing down in Florida and being a happy retired lady. They pulled her out of retirement for this, And she told him, I'll do this if you pay me double what you were going to pay Judy, and you have to pay Judy Garland her contract salary. Which Judy Garland at this time, she only took this movie because she was down and out. Like, she really needed the money. Let's just say this movie is a piece of shit. It's garbage. Like, it's such celluloid trash. It's so overdone. It's so over glamorous. But as a gay person, you're going to be into it. The story is as simple as it comes. It's a showbiz tale. We follow at first Ann Wells, who moves to the city from a small town. She's very classy. She comes from a very well-established, like, upper crust neighborhood, but she wants to make it in the big city, and she wants to, like, make a career for herself. She ends up meeting and working for a man, Lion, who is a full-on serial cheater, Lothario, piece of shit, ad guy, who works closely with Helen Lawson, the great Broadway star. He actually goes to see her when brings Anne along with him to do shorthand.
Who in hell are you?
I'm Ann Wells, and
Look, I'm tired and I'm busy. What do you want?
Well, who should be there in that production but two girls would eventually become her friends, Jennifer North and Neely O'Hara. Neely O'Hara being the next big thing. Everyone knows this girl is going to be a star. She's got the voice. She's got the talent. She just needs the opportunity. And Helen Lawson becomes aware of this quick and realizes she's being overshadowed by her and immediately has her thrown out of the show.
Oh, Helen, come on. Neely O'Hara can't hurt you.
You bet your ass she can, because she isn't going to get the chance.
Well, Neely leaves with her head held high and a chip on her shoulder that she's going to make that bitch pay one way or another.
so I'll try it and give it a go.
Jennifer North plays a showgirl in the chorus of this production where she's essentially just bullied and harassed for her body. And she's constantly being told and browbeaten by her mother that all she is a hot body and you'll never be anything else. You have no talent. Just make sure those titties never sag, okay? So much so that her mother calls her every night to make sure she's doing tit exercises, like pushing them up, hiking them like that, like kind of like the pectoral bounces bodybuilders do. That's what her mom is having her do to make sure those titties never sag. It's like, never let those things touch your knees, bitch.
Oh, to hell with them. Let him droop.
In the book, the girls all live together. They become very fast friends. But in the movie, you kind of wonder, why are these girls all hanging out with each other? Like, they only really have, like, one shitty show that they all, like, kind of cross paths in. So why would they even bother being friends with each other after this? But I digress. A friendship is formed somehow and forged, and the girls all go their separate ways and come back to each other to basically fill each other in on each other's progress. Neely O'Hara ends up striking it big and becoming a gigantic star of motion pictures. She is Judy Garland. All right, she's doing tap dancing pictures. She is singing her fucking face off. And while she's doing this, they're hopping her up on pills. Pills to help her sleep, pills to help her get up, and pills to help her get through the numbers.
She took the red pills.
Meanwhile, Jennifer North is also becoming a bit of a pillhead herself.
She took the blue pills.
She ends up becoming romantically involved with a nightclub singer, Tony Pillar, who is so handsome, and it's such a cute little romance that forges, but there's one sad secret. Tony has a mysterious disease that skips every generation. However, it happens to hit his generation, and he ends up becoming paralyzed.
Tony!
Jen!
Tony!
And Jennifer North has to suddenly rise through the ranks and become the breadwinner of the family. So, in order to do this, she starts making pornography.
Art films. Nudies! That's all they are. Nudies.
Ann Wells has probably one of the most positive stories. She becomes a pillhead too. Don't you worry. She also does the pills.
She took the green pills.
She's also taken those dolls too. But she just so happens to be one of those people where you watch it, it's like she just shows up at the right place and someone looks at her and says, hey, you ever thought of being a model? And she's like,
sure, why the fuck not, I guess.
She must be beautiful, but more important, she must be refined. Girl like Miss Wells here.
And that's exactly what happens. She becomes a celebrated supermodel of the 1960s. And what has to be the most camp montage you will ever see, like her all done up, spraying herself with perfume, gigantic hairdos. Like, she is living the fantasy. And she also becomes a gigantic pillhead and eventually would get so low, pilled up, boozed up, wandering along the Malibu beach until she eventually ends up with her face in the water and getting the cold realization that maybe I should stop.
You Jackie Horn!
Anne comes to that conclusion early. Jennifer is not so quick. She ends up becoming so depressed in her life and what has become of her, and the fact that her husband that she loves will never walk again and will never be better, and he only gets worse and worse. She eventually learns that she has breast cancer and decides to take her own life with pills. It's really sad. Like, she has the saddest story, and she's honestly the most likable character in this. Then there's Neely. Neely O'Hara turns into an absolute monster. She ends up becoming the very thing she feared, Helen Lawson.
How dare you contaminate my pool? Here, maybe this will disinfect it.
Like, she became Helen Lawson. She is a tyrant. She is terrible to be on set with. She's bossy. She's a diva. She just wants things a certain way because she's pilled out of her mind. She doesn't know how to function without these things. And that's why she has to get shipped off to rehab, where she ends up seeing Tony Pillar in there as an invalid. And this is kind of what snaps her back into sobriety. When she eventually gets let out of the funny farm, she makes a big, big comeback in a Broadway production. And at her coming out party, who happens to be in attendance? But that old bitch, Helen Lawson, leads us to the confrontation scene around the world. I don't want to spoil too much about it because this scene is everything, but I will talk a little bit more about the production of Valley of Dolls because I find it so interesting because, like, this was Sharon Tate's really first big splashy debut on screen. Like, she hadn't done a whole lot before this. This was really going to catapult her into superstardom, she thought. All the girls thought this. Like, Patty Duke especially had so much riding on this because she was basically known for being a child star. She was like the Selena Gomez or Miley Cyrus of that generation. Like, the Patty Duke show was a gigantic hit amongst tweens and teens alike. Like, they liked Patty, but she got pigeonholed for being a teen star. And she was also like a really young Academy Award winner from The Miracle Worker. So, like, she had a lot riding on her youth, and she wanted to parlay into more serious dramatic roles. So this was really a big opportunity for her, and she really wanted to do it and do a good job.
Nobody cares if I live or die, just so long as I write the checks.
And unfortunately, her and the director, Mark Robson, would butt heads constantly. Mark Robson is a piece of shit. I'll just say that right now, he's a bad director. Like, he directed these girls horribly, or lack thereof. There was no direction here. Like, it seemed like he kind of just lost all his warmth toward women. Like, he seemed like a total incel piece of shit prick. The way, especially when he talked to Patty Duke and Sharon Tate, like, he talked to them like they were nothing. And when it came to Barbara Parkins, he just gave her nothing. Like, they had nothing to go off of. Like, they had a horrible situation where, like, he didn't really give a shit about what the source material was or what story he was telling. He was just looking at the paycheck and how he could edit this quickly to get it out. Like, he had no interest in the source material whatsoever, which is a damn shame because it would have made for a very interesting movie had the person that was making it at the helm really cared. And unfortunately, Barbara Parkins really wanted to become the breakout star from Peyton Place. Like, she was a huge star on this soap opera. Like, she was seen weekly, and she played Betty, who was like the fast and loose girl on Peyton Place. She was the big villain, so she was the most popular character and almost got her own spinoff until they begged her not to. She wanted to leave Peyton Place to do other things and not get pigeonholed, become the Susan Lucci of the 60s. So she thought doing this movie would be a huge thing for her career. And unfortunately, she got saddled with the one part she had no interest in playing, which was Ann Wells, the boring girl in beige. Yeah, I feel so bad for the actresses in this because I feel like they're all such great actresses and such major talents that are just wasted in this movie. Don't get me wrong, it's still hella enjoyable. You're gonna laugh your head off watching some of the super camp scenes that happen in this thing. Like, you're going to love it. You're going to get into it. Get into the Valley of the Dolls. Let me know, did you see this in theaters? Did you read the book? What did you think? Did you watch that weird 90s television show they did of it? And last but certainly not least, who would you cast in a remake of this? Because I feel like this is one of those things that Ryan Murphy, you listening? Do an all-gay guy version of this. It'd be sickening. Give us like a 1990s or early 2000s reimagining of Valley of the Dolls with gay guys at the helm. I could see it. I totally can. All right, sound off down below. I want to hear your thoughts on Valley of the Dolls. Was I too hard on it? Please let me know, okay? Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next one, okay? Bye!
You know how bitchy f***s can be.
Well, it's over now.
Click my next YouTube video.
Like, comment, and subscribe.